What's up, y'all? This is Henny. New week, same grind. Let's get to it. So listen, last week I was in sessions and I thought to myself, let me take the camera with me, show you exactly how I am in the studio with collaborators, musicians, songwriters, the like. And let me give you some tips and tricks on how to better add value and do better when you're in the studio and trying to figure out how to collaborate with others. Because a lot of times we can get stuck trying to figure out how to build those relationships, how to start it up as a producer, how to start to feel like a leader in that session, and what things that you can do to do that to create the right energy. And so that's what we did. You know, I went in a few sessions, we had a good time, and created some dope music. So it's just a little different this time. I'm gonna go out, vlog a little bit, show you exactly what we did last week to be able to create good vibes step by step. Let's go!
The business.
Oh man, more sessions this week. I gotta always stay prepared, man. I got people I've never met coming, as well as I got people that I know very well. You gotta keep the energy flowing. You gotta keep the good vibes going. We always try to make sure we set it up and set the environment right up nice, because it's just a clean environment. It's like a clean slate, you know what I mean? People walk in with open ideas, open concepts, and you just roll with that. So I just try to keep it clean. Let's go.
Step one, when it's your session and you're bringing people to you, make sure you create the right energy that allow people to be able to be themselves in that space. I think a lot of us, when it comes to creating and getting into sessions and vibing and trying to create that right synergy, we don't do enough talking. Anybody that knows me, knows our sessions, know how we get down. It could be 10, 15, 2 hours of the session. It's just talking and just building that relationship so that you can build that rapport with those that are around you. If you get in a session and you just sit down and just start cooking up with others, you guys haven't even built anything to gel each other together. And that's one of the things that I truly believe will help you be a more successful leader, a more successful producer in any situation. You sit down, you talk, you ask them, if you've never met them, do those quick questions, like where you from, how'd you get into music? It might seem silly, it might seem mundane, it might seem like you're damn near doing an interview. But one of the best things you can do is start to figure out who you're dealing with and give them just as much as they give you. Allow yourself to start engaging with those people that are around you. And if it's somebody that you've been dealing with for years, just chop it up like some normal stuff, man. What you been up to? What's going on? Let me hear some new stuff. Let them play you some new things. Bring them into your space. Bring them into your energy and allow yourself to at least be inviting so that you can get all that you need from this relationship, from this moment.
You called me for a reason.
Friday Night Functions Part 1. We in here. We're about to have a great time. The whole idea is collaboration. How to collaborate even more efficiently when you're in the studio. First things first, get to know each other. Let's go.
Actually hopped on the record.
Step 2, figure out all the strengths and weaknesses around you. When I'm in a session, I know that I can do certain things well, right? Whether it might be lead, set a scene, set a scenario. I can play, keys if I need to. I can drum program if I need to. But if there are people that you brought in, or if there's people that are in the room that have just that same skill, allow them to be able to bring that to the table without you overstepping. Allow them to give you their talents and let them express themselves as freely as possible.
5, 6, 7, and yeah, it's all good. I'm gonna give it to you again. Here we go. 5, 6, 7, and five, 6, 7 and
Step 3, make sure you have everything set up, ready to go before people get there. If you have an engineer or if you're engineering something yourself, make sure the Pro Tools session, or if you're setting up something in Blocks Wave or setting up something in Beatmaker 3 or setting up something in your DAW, make sure it's ready to go. Make sure your interfaces are already ready to record. It just makes the process easier so that people are ready to work when you're ready to work. And so always be prepared, always be ready for the situation. Know your gear and know how to use it. This is one of the reasons I use Blocks Wave so much. The app Blocks Wave allows me to be able to get so many ideas so quickly, whether it's ideas that I had inside the app, or if I'm bringing people in, I can record directly internally into it. We can just keep the vibe going. And one of the best ways to be able to stay in the lane, stay in the vibe, you're just flowing, you're just vibing. Because here's the thing. What you want to do more than anything when you bring others in to collaborate with you is to be able to get as much music as possible out. That way you guys can come back, edit it later, chop it up. That way that you guys have a lot more opportunity to go from A to Z when it comes to getting your music out there, getting it placed, being able to chop those up as samples or loops, whatever you're doing to be able to get that music out there.
See, the great thing about having talented musicians around you, or even those who wanting to be musicians around you, is the ability to just create and get ideas and same energy from around each other. We've been in here 3.5 hours and we are on idea number 9. Now, that doesn't say that you have to create a full song in a day. Some days it's about creating a full song, some days it's just about creating ideas. But the main idea is to be able to just create good energy and let everybody work in cohesive. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The main thing is just, even if you're bringing players together or, instrumentalists together, musicians together who've never worked before, create the space, create the vibe in the room that allows everybody to be able to just share their gift, it takes leadership when you do that. It takes the ability to say, just have fun with it. Just have a good time when you're in the studio doing your thing. You could be in your basement, you could be in your bedroom. I've had all different types of situations trying to create. But I know the main objective when you're trying to get to a new space is collaboration. And that's where we're at in 2019 going into 2020. Now, after all is said and done, you go through your ideas and you take the ones that feel right at the moment and you start building on that. That's what we're doing. I got my man KG in the back going over some drums. We're going over these ideas, try to see how we can start to sequence these things to be able to get them to the songwriters to be able to sing. So a process, but last night you showed you all 10 records that were being done. Now we're back in here trying to go in and see exactly what we can do with each one. So the next step after that is just to export the ideas that we had off the iPad using Blocks Wave, and we literally just airdropped them into the system here that we're using Pro Tools on, and started adding layers. KG is playing some drums from his laptop using Logic, and it's all part of this collaboration process. So we're actually getting to the point of sequencing these records so that we can get it with the songwriters. And that's the piece where, it starts to get fun, starts to build out the song. So take it step by step. This is the process that I normally go through and that we go through as a team. Let's keep going.
Now, I know a lot of us producers can be super perfectionists, but when you're in a collaborative state, allow things to just flow. It goes back to my last statement about keeping things moving, being able to allow the energy in the room to just manifest. It's something special when you don't try to control it all the time. A lot of times when you're trying to control things, you can block that energy that was about to explode. There's been instances in the studio where a track is done and then all of a sudden some other part comes in, or you hear something in the background and you could have blocked it out had you not been just open to anything happening. And when something happens, that's when God steps in. That's when the magic comes in the room. And always allow that part to happen, because you never know. That could be the spark. That could be the piece that can make that whole song, that can make that whole record. My main objective is always to allow the space to be open and space to be flowing, because you never know what's going to happen, and you always want the magic. That's what we all want. We always want that part that hits the tingle in the back of our neck. That's like, oh, that's something special. Yeah, just allow it to be open. Don't control the situation so much.
It's a Friday night function, man. We're just trying to have a good time, man. Just trying to have a good time.
And tip number 5, man, I can't stress this enough. Whether you're the producer or the one coming in to collaborate, always figure out a way to add value.
The main objective here is, I don't care where you're headed. I don't care what type of situation you're in. Try to figure out an angle or a way that you can add value. If you're going to the studio, I look like I'm really blown out. If you're going to a studio for the first time, if you're going to a meeting for the first time, it maybe it's something to, I've talked about this before, but find a way to add value. You know what I mean? Like, randomly bring, I don't know, some food, some chips. It's really about adding value to the situation that you're putting yourself into. And this music industry, as fickle as it is, as funny style as it is, as hard as it can be, a lot of it is just about, just adding care to the situation and making sure somebody's like, oh, he was dope. He has some really great talent, but at the same time, I liked his energy. I liked his vibe. I liked the way, he presented himself, and I like what he brought to the table. So it's those things that'll set you apart and get you into a consistent opportunity to open those doors. So
let me deep dive just a little bit more into that, because I think a lot of us, when we talk about adding value, we're talking about just being, dope musicians or dope producers and adding, whatever, gifts that we have to the table. That's great, but it only will help when somebody actually wants those talents from you. If you're not coming in with good energy, with good attitudes, humility, or bringing something to the table that allows you to stick out, people won't give a damn about what gifts you have. And so there's so many ways you can do it. You gotta literally think about where you're going, think about how you can add value and what other things you can do. Sometimes it's not even always bringing something, but just always being the helping hand. Like, it says a lot for somebody who wants to help straighten up, or who wants to help untangle cables, or, oh, do you want me to go get the door? Or do you want me to, do you need anything from the store before I come? Some ice or some cups, or, do you need some chips? Like, it doesn't matter what it is. That little extra step, when you do it over and over again, will allow you to stick out, and people be like, I like that guy around, even if he isn't the most talented person in the room. Because talent is dope, but when, talent is just cocky and thinks they're, everything, and they think that this whole thing is evolving around them, yeah, you'll want to work with them for a second, but you won't want to work with them continuously because you just don't like their energy. And I've seen it more than a few times, so I can't stress that enough. Always figure out a way to add value.
One piece at a time, one piece at a time. We're trying to make sure this is right, man. One piece at a time.
So that was it, man. That's exactly what I've been doing for so many years, to be able to figure out how to collaborate and get good energy when I'm in a space over and over again. It's literally those things that I do to be able to work with people who are half as young as me or people who are older than me, to be able to work myself in a room, know how to add value, know how to create a space, regardless if I'm the leader or if I'm just the one coming in to be the collaborative person. These are some of the keys that's got me where I've gotten so far. So you already know, 2019, 2020, collaboration is everything. And being able to collaborate and being able to be in a space where people want you back over and over again, that's how you get to that next level. These are just a few tips from your boy. More next week. Hit 'em out!